Let's get started. Welcome to Stop Doing This by Hand. This is a working session for nonprofit leaders. We've got 90 minutes together, and by the end of it, you'll walk away with a real workflow built live for whatever drains your team most. Not a demo environment, the actual thing. So let's go. Real quick, if you're leading a nonprofit organization right now, you already know this. You're carrying more than the systems around you. The systems around you the systems around you were ever built to hold. That's not a knock on you. That's just where most of us are. For the next 90 minutes, I want to look at what that actually means and where AI genuinely belongs in the picture, not where the hype says it belongs. And I'll say this up front, this is a working session, not a pitch. You're going to vote on what's draining your team the most. And I'm going to build it, the actual fix, live right now in front of you. All right, so I'm going to pause this because the issue for me is that it wants me to always use a microphone every time it goes to another slide. So that's not good for me. And I don't know how to progress to the other slide. Okay, so I'm going to pause this and then continue working with Codex, so you can kind of see. I'm just really speaking to it in my natural language, explaining to it, it's working really well so far, but here are some hiccups, and I needed to fix this so that it works without any hiccups. Hey, chat, or Codex rather. The app is coming along. Well, not the app, but the transcript, the live teleprompter is coming along pretty well so far. Thank you for that. But there seems to be an issue. Every time it progresses to another slide, it keeps re-prompting me to use my microphone, and I don't want to have to do that for each slide. So I want it to just be able to, once I adapt it in the initial, the first slide, I want the same setting to apply to all the other slides. The next thing is I'm having a hard time figuring out how to progress to the next slide. I see it says J/K back forward, but when I press the K to move forward, it kind of just popped up the same the microphone request for it to be able to listen to my voice. So can we figure that out so it fixes that issue so we're not running into this during the live webinar? All right, so I just went ahead and shared with Codex what I needed to fix, and as you see, it's going to go ahead and fix both problems. I just shared that, and so what we're going to do is just wait a few minutes until it makes those changes. All right, so we're going to come back, and as you can see, it says that it found its root cause. So we're just going to kind of let it go ahead and correct the issue. But it says it found the root cause of this particular issue, and so it's going to go ahead and restart. It says here I'm removing the per slide restart and separating the change slide from move within the script. All right, so it went ahead and made the corrections. So it says here, microphone recognition now stays active across slide changes. Then it says here, K space, right arrow or next slide advances. And then it says J left arrow or previous slide goes back. Then that symbol only adjusts the teleprompter script position, which is really helpful. So I'll go ahead and take a look so you can see the changes it made, and then we'll just see if it's good to go. So we went ahead and made the changes. So what I'm going to do next is just to kind of start right quick. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and see if we can adjust the teleprompter here. It's not quite working. All right, so let's do that. All right, let's get started. All right, so I'm just gonna do, I'm gonna do a quick test to make sure it has fixed the issue, okay? This next one is personal for me. So let me tell you why it's even on this slide instead of just reading it to you. So you already know from a few minutes ago that I've got a background in counseling. What I didn't mention is I actually set out to become a psychiatrist, right? This is how far back my obsession with why people actually change goes. Long before I ever ran a nonprofit organization. And one of the first things you learn studying this clinically is that behavior doesn't stick at the outcome level. You can white knuckle a goal for a while, but if it doesn't really connect to something deeper, it falls apart. The second life gets hard, right? And that's not a theory to me. I watched it play out with real people over and over. I'm going to see if I can potentially turn this into something. But as you can see, there's systems out there that charges you to use their teleprompter. I'm going to definitely use this teleprompter for me in the future. And I will, find a way so that it's not just, specific to like this webinar, right? So guys, this took me less than 30 minutes to build, probably about 20 minutes or so to build. And it's a part of your subscription tool, right? Or subscription costs that you may already have for if you're using, this was built a combination of Codex. So Codex helped to design this teleprompter, right? I used Claude to do one not too long ago, but the reason why I used Codex was because I was already occupying Claude doing another build and I didn't have my other desktop open. So here's just an example of me building a tool that's useful for me to use that didn't cost me any extra money. It's not an extra subscription. And if you have like a dashboard that you already utilize, this can be built into your dashboard so you can help to prepare for presentations or speeches or something like that. So don't have to use a Google Doc to scroll up and down to view what you need to say. You can just have it flow naturally. So here, an AI tool is an outcome, a workflow is a process, and a calm infrastructure is an identity. Peace.